Hello, it is Sunday, April 2nd, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. I am getting an extremely late start in the day because the New York Times website appeared to be down. It said it wasn't responding, and this has been going on for hours. Finally, I tried a different browser, and it's working, so I have no idea what was going on with that. It didn't work for me in Chrome, even after restarting, clearing my cookies, logging out and in again, all of the things you're supposed to do. I have no idea what's wrong. In any case, who knows how much time I wasted waiting to simply try a different browser. In any case, I'm finally here. And this severely delayed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Henrik Koskinen, David Innes, Josh Lucas, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Showmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them for supporting this channel, keeping this whole thing going. I really do appreciate that. And if you would like to help sustain this channel, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field to directly contribute and keep this channel going. In return, you can get as a benefactor the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, or as any patron, all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And that includes yesterday's mega mini puzzle pseudo speed solve containing 21 mini puzzles solved consecutively. 2 days ago, I suppose that was, as well as a number of boss words puzzles that will be going up over the coming days. I thought I had posted one of those recently. Turns out I didn't post the one I thought I did. So one goes up today, another 2 days from now, another 2 days after that, and so on. So look forward to those. Those are the Boss Words Spring Themeless League, particularly difficult crosswords. All right. Please do also subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done so, and you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in the link in the description field underneath the video. And thank you to Tina in the Discord server for pointing out that they're also UK-based, and we're not having any problems with the puzzle today, which led me to investigate further options. Okay, let's get on to today's puzzle. This is a dual construction by Jeremy Newton and Tracy Gray. I completely forgot to investigate the provenance of this crossword. I don't know what these constructors have done previously, but I do recognize their names, so I'm fairly confident they are not debuts. I think they're both relatively experienced constructors just based on memory. All right, let's start solving. Nah, you're not retort. Nah, you're not. I don't know. Comedy club sounds, laughs or ha-has or something. Probably ends with an S. Oops. Oh, sorry, I just noticed the subject of the biography, Mr. Playboy, Hugh Hefner, presumably? Does he have a Hef as one of his nicknames? I don't know. Neither of those, neither the long form nor the short form fits here, so keep going for now. Port of Mexico. I don't know if this is referring to a literal port or if it's a wine. It wouldn't be a wine because port explicitly comes from Spain, so maybe not. Where to hear amateur bands? Ham radio? Amateur radio operators, maybe? .com startup? Not sure. Oh, here we go. Spaceship battle / an iconic Van Gogh, Van Gogh, or Van Gogh. I found another incorrect national pronunciation of Van Gogh / Van Gogh / Van Gogh, I think is maybe how the French say it. I realized recently I was watching something in French and that pronunciation came up. In any case, I know none of them is accurate to the Dutch. All right. Timbre could be the tone or the sound of something, maybe. Oh, .com startup HTTP. As in a startup to a .com address. So there we go, a little pun as indicated with the question mark pun indicator. Coffee maker insert, you could have one of those pod-based coffee makers perhaps. Yippee, an expression of delight, could be Yahoo. And to touch up as text would be to amend the text, to edit it. Bottom of the Thames. Well, the Thames, of course, is the river that runs through London. Just, I could walk there. If I had, I guess, I don't know, a couple hours probably. And what is that referring to? Oh, I see. Bottom is in your rear end or your arse. There we go. And the of the Thames here means in British English as opposed to American English because it's referring to an English river. Okay, what is this? Oh, maybe amend is emend. So you can amend with an A many things, but you can amend with an E only text, I believe. So touch up as text specifically is emend with an E. Now you're not retort. Yeah, I am. A retort to now you're not. I read this incorrectly at first, and I was thinking it was a retort meaning now you're not, but it isn't. It's a retort to now you're not. Cowlick concealer. What? Oh, right. I'm on this browser. I've not yet set my preferences to pressing the spacebar toggle between a cross and down, which is what I want it to be. There we go. Now it's back to normal. Cowlick concealer. Hair? Doesn't really make sense. Hat. Okay. Spaceship battle and iconic Van Gogh. The Star Wars or something? Rocky Mountain State, Idaho, presumably. Flag carrier in the Mediterranean. Air Italia? I know. Air something, presumably. This is the star something. Van Gogh, was he the sunflowers? Or the Starry Night? So is that a spaceship battle as well? Why is the spaceship battle a Starry Night? Not quite sure I understand that. I'll have to keep solving for now. A quagmire could be a morass, sort of a bog. Blank nest. Empty nest or... not sure. Crop up. If something crops up, it arises. And to enjoy more than one's fair share of something is to hog it. Focusing issue in brief. Oh, ADHD. Oh, that's funny. This was in one of the boss words. I solved some of the boss words puzzles that I mentioned earlier. I solved some of them while I was fruitlessly, I suppose, waiting for the New York Times website to return. And the same thing was in it. Okay, comedy club sounds. Ha-has, it is that. Maybe this is Hefner, and we have a rebus here. So if you're not familiar with the concept of a rebus in the context of the New York Times crossword, a rebus is a cell in which more than one letter can be entered, and an arbitrary number of letters. So could be a whole word, could just be 2 letters, as I think it is here. And Playboy magazine was founded by Hugh Hefner, and so I guess we're putting EF in here. Oops, whoa. Well, that's not good. It takes the enter of sort of confirming the rebus as a page down. That's not good behavior. In any case, I don't know what that means yet. EF. But Hefner. F-rod? Wear down. Oh, wear down is erode. What? Why is this the case? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe this is wrong. No, well, yes, it is wrong. It is wrong. We're going to erode. Wow, that's so funny. It is almost what I put in, but not quite in an extremely critical way. So the rebus is here, and in fact, the FN goes in here. See, there's no way to enter this now because if I press enter, it'll mess it up. There we go. We have the starry fight and the starry night. There we go. So the spaceship battle is the starry fight, and an iconic Van Gogh painting is the starry night. Look at that. That's really something. Okay, good. And that explains what was going on with Hefner, of course. Cornerstone figures could be years. You have the date of construction, or sort of date that the cornerstone was laid in a building, inscribed or etched in. And a hare's nest? Mare's nest? Air Malta? Student council electee informally, a class rep. I think a mare's nest I think that is an expression. Is this Air Malta? I'm not familiar with Air Malta. It's just a guess here. Sounds of saxophones, a wail. You sometimes describe a saxophone as wailing. One may be on the house. Not sure if it means on the house meaning complimentary free, or if it's on the house as in literally placed on a house. Los Blanc, vacation hotspot in Mexico. Los Cabos, I would think. And you're on. It's a bet. one may be on the house. Oh, a lien. A lien could be, right, okay, so financial, this is in financial terms, a lien could be placed on a house for an unpaid mortgage, for instance. Oh, slangy, right, here's another theme clue. Slangy reply when Bart's sister asks, what's COVID / an iconic Leonardo? Oh, right, interesting. So are we having, we have a whole theme, maybe all of the secondary clues are iconic paintings, perhaps? Mona Lisa? Right, okay, so we have to figure out, there's going to be a rebus cell that allows this answer to sort of be ambiguous with respect to the two clues. So maybe they all start with the as well. The Mona Lisa is the iconic Leonardo. And the slangy reply when Bart's sister asks, what's COVID? It's the Rona, comma, Lisa. There we go. So R and then M. Don't press enter. There we go. So we have the Rona Lisa and the Mona Lisa. All right, so of course, a reference to the coronavirus, COVID-19, or that particular coronavirus. All right, relaxing soak is a warm bath. There we go, aided by our now complete rebus. Pray for a polar bear could be a seal. A drive-through is a, sort of commercial abbreviation of drive-through spelled fully. Curmudgeons could be described as crabs, and if you have a hankering for something, you have an itch for it. Dance accompanied by pahu drums. Wasn't familiar with that instrument, embarrassingly, but it must be the hula. All right. First pope in a line of 13, Leo the First, I would think. To come next is to unsue. Something follows, it ensues, it comes next. Old spy organization, the OSS, I believe. And the, I think, Office of Strategic Services or something like that. I'm sure I probably got one of those wrong, but something like that. Oh, look at this. NFL team with the mascot Sourdough Sam to fans. This is another extraordinary coincidence. This also came up in one of the boss words puzzles I just solved. And it was almost the identical answer. I think the answer was Niner singular in that case, whereas in this case it's Niners, the San Francisco 49ers, San Francisco being associated with sourdough bread. What a strange coincidence that this now happened twice in the same puzzle. All right. Why cases might go cold. They might go cold due to no clues. And to giggle alongside, not at, is to... I'm not sure. A blueberry. A slow berry. And super dry is sear. Could be arid. Sear, very dry. Reason Mercury gets eclipsed / an iconic Botticelli. So it'll start with the, again, we suspect. And per musician Charlie Parker, if you don't live it, it won't come out your horn, presumably. Charlie Parker, the great jazz musician. That would make sense. Musical expression sort of coming out of lived experience, I guess. And an academic must, abbreviation, a requirement? As in a prerequisite for a class? I'm not sure if that's correct. We'll leave that blank for now. Giggle alongside, right. Start for made or paid. Pre-made or prepaid. Oh, maybe this isn't no clues. No leads. Similar, but slightly different. There we go. That's why cases might go cold. So to giggle alongside, not at, would be laugh with somebody, not at them. There we go. Popular AM show, familiarly, not sure. Punk offshoot could be emo, the official rock subgenre of the New York Times crossword. Oh, so this must be Good Morning America, I think is a sort of breakfast show or a morning show. Sporting a natural style. So if you're sporting a natural style, you could potentially be afroed, sporting a natural hairstyle. And neighbor of the tilde key. Well, I think it's one. I'm on a British keyboard, which is oriented differently to the North American style, so I'm trying to remember. Is the one next to the tilde key? It's not where it is on my keyboard. Tab, maybe? I think that might be correct. Oh, The Birth of Venus is the iconic Botticelli. So, right. So what's the reason Mercury gets eclipsed? It's the... Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's probably here because this doesn't make sense. Rainbows in the sky, perhaps. Well, I'll leave it blank for now. I'm sorry. For some reason, I'm just not thinking of what this is. The mirth of Venus? Girth of Venus? Oh, the girth. No, that still doesn't work. Then we'd have GB here, which doesn't really make any sense. I don't know. I sort of can't think of anything that's going to fit here. Rainbows in the sky, perhaps. I don't understand. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll have to come back to it. Tree climbers, perhaps. Could be vines, could climb a tree. Oh, no. No, never mind. Not that. War game. Risk is a board game representing war. Oh, vine? Why not vine? Oh, right. That's why there's not enough room for the plural. Because this we have sort of inadvertently stumbled upon our next rebus. So vines will go in here, and E and S will be the two sort of disambiguating letters in our across answer, our theme answer. So post-dinosaur period or an iconic Magritte. Let's see, post-dinosaur period. Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry. This looks like bison. Yes, causes some Yellowstone traffic jams. This is referring to Yellowstone National Park, where there must be bison. I'm sure that sounds familiar. And that ship could be referred to as she. That's funny. This also, ships having feminine pronouns was also referenced in a Bosswords puzzle I solved while I was waiting for this puzzle to come up. Oh. Hated with a passion is loathed. So those are all up on the Patreon channel if you're a supporter of that. Run off it, now you'll have three answers where you'll be very frustrated that it takes me a while to get to them, because I think those were all cases where I didn't immediately get the answer. So you'll be even more ahead of me than you maybe already would have been. Organization with X-rays, the TSA at an airport, at an American airport anyway. To run off at the mouth could be to jaw, maybe, or to gab. Zip it, a bag, a sort of zipper bag. Feature of décolleté clothing. Maybe it's not bag, because that would refer to sort of low, clothing with a low cut showing the décolletage. Low neckline or something, or low, maybe not, zip it. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. Remark from the financially or vertically challenged. I'm short, you could say, financially or height-wise. And rainbows in the sky. Academic must. Oh, nothing here looks right to me. I'm sure I'm just missing something. Slow, I would have thought was a mistake, but it fits everything else so cleanly that I just can't imagine what else that could possibly be. All right, let's keep going. Vampires cry in sunlight. Is one of these thematic? Yes. So this could be... Oh, opposite of liberal doves, an iconic hopper. Iconic hopper is probably nighthawks. Nighthawks and right hawks, maybe? Opposite of liberal doves, so right people to the right who are sort of in favor of war can be described as hawks. So we take the iconic hopper painting, which is nighthawks, and we turn that into right hawks. So R and N. There we go. Night hawks. There we go. So I'm burnt, maybe? Was that what the vampire would cry? I'm burnt? Maybe. And word of advice. I'm not sure. Why do I not see that? I don't know. Like some covers and kisses. And what a wristwatch wraps around. Your ulna, maybe? That was also ulna was also in one of the Bosswords puzzles. Maybe this isn't the answer and I just want all of them to be shared, but that's such an odd coincidence. Oh, cry me a river. Bah, maybe? No, I don't know. Maybe Ulna's incorrect. Stranger Things actress blank Bobby Brown. Oh, Millie Bobby Brown. That's in my head somehow. Word of advice. Like some kisses and... Oh, blown. You could blow your cover if you're a spy, and you could blow a kiss to somebody. Oh, Crimea River. Wah. Okay, it must be... It is Ulna. The wristwatch wrapped around your Ulna, your little sort of... excuse me, one of your sort of smaller arm bones. And then wipe clean as a car is... I am not seeing that immediately. Notice... Something still isn't really adding up here. It's almost as though I'm burnt is wrong, which is sort of surprising. Word of advice. Oh, it's a tip. It's it burns. It burns, the vampire cries. That does sound more sort of, I don't know, I guess iconic to a sort of classic horror films than I'm burnt. It's a sort of strange thing to cry. It burns is what the vampire calls. And to wipe clean as a car is to sponge down, maybe? Maybe? This could be wrong. But, and then to notice something is to see it, of course. In fashion. In fashion. I don't know. A dress, I don't know. African menace, the tsetse fly, probably? And, oh, interesting. So here we have notice, and here we have notice. And what is this one? I'm not sure. Spoke menacingly. Hissed. You could say something menacingly, hiss it through your teeth. Notice. A sign is a notice. There we go. So this one's a noun. The previous one was a verb. So what is going on here? Rainbows in the sky, perhaps. LGBT flags. Wow. Okay, that was really camouflaged, wasn't it? Oh, but it's LG, right? And the GB is here. It was the girth of Venus and the birth of Venus. That was correct. And it just seemed like it was too much of a muddle, so I didn't even consider what it would be if I actually put that in. Oh, that's a shame. In any case, we got there eventually. LGBTQ flags, and that confirms the academic must was a requirement, as in a prerequisite to take a particular class. All right, so zip it. You zip your fly. It was not bag. And then to run off at the mouth is to yak. Feature of décolleté clothing is low neck something. Could this be CK maybe? Or maybe just low necks, actually. No. Because, yes, this is going to... Oh, no. This won't start with the. Because it says an iconic Michelangelo with the. So the is already given to us in the clue. It won't be in the answer. Right. So this could be low necks, but yeah, it could be. What about this? In fashion. Oh, you're in fashion. You're literally inside of fashion. In other words, clothing. So you're dressed. It may lead to greener pastures. Rain could lead to that. Like in-flight smoking. Banned, of course. And baby hyena. Are baby hyenas called cubs, maybe? Ill-considered. If something's ill-considered, it's unwise. And a modern vaccine component is RNA, as we all know from mRNA vaccines. So Dalmatians, e.g., are Croats. So not Dalmatians, the dog, but rather Dalmatian, the sort of ethnic group, I suppose, essentially. All right. From which, or location, I suppose, from which I suppose Dalmatian dogs are derived, I guess. All right. Darn it all, drat, you could exclaim frustratedly. Tell jokes until PowerPoint unfreezes, e.g. is, I guess, you stall during a presentation. This symbol is called what? Do I know? I mean, I recognize it, but do I know what it's called? I don't know that I do. To whip around wildly is to whirl, maybe? And canned tomatoes brand. Not sure offhand. Unfortunately, yes. Don't know. Cute vowel sound, hard C, as opposed to a soft C, which is why we don't pronounce this suit. Canned tomatoes, browned, right. Grammy winner DeFranco. Oh no. Annie DeFranco, I would have thought. Cute vowel sound, right. It's a hard U. Cute as opposed to cut, I guess. Is that what we're... Oh, it says vowel sound, and I completely ignored the vowel bit and chose C, which is a consonant. Sorry about that. You must have been wondering what on earth I was talking about. No, that still doesn't work. It's a long U because the short and long are used for vowels, whereas the hard and soft would be used for consonants, like the C I said originally. Okay, this has been a catastrophe. In any case, long U, cute. All right, so now what about this? Whip around wildly. Flail? There we go, okay. Fair enough. Unfortunately, yes. Afraid so. There we go, that makes more sense. And, oh, rotel. Rotel makes sort of canned tomatoes and also sort of peppers, chili peppers and things like that. All right. U.S. swimming gold medalist Ledecky must be Katie. That looks plausible. And, oh, is this an ETA? Planning one's 24-hour itinerary. An iconic Michelangelo with the creation of Adam. Am I misremembering this? Creation of... Oh, is it creation of a day? 24 hours. Yes, there we go. So Y and M. Nice. All right. I think we might have done all of the... No, we've not. We've not yet done them. Agreed. Okay, we'll have to get back to that. Aren't I something, you might ask? Yay me, maybe? I think yay me has actually been in the crossword before, strangely enough. Schumer, I remember it, I think. Schumer of comedy. Amy Schumer is a comedian and actor. Playground bully. A meanie, I suppose. Fire could be to dismiss somebody, or it could be obviously a physical fire. Or arson, but that doesn't quite work. California city whose name means tar, Brea, as in the La Brea tar pits, which I suppose is a slightly redundant name. Fire. Ardor, metaphorical fire, as in a zeal. There we go. And a bugaboo could be something that bothers you, not sure. A thick one may be found in a bank. A thick fog? As in a sort of on the banks of an ocean or river or bay or something, maybe? I'm not sure if that's what that's referring to. Private meeting could be a one-on-one. And, oh, your bugaboo could be your bane. I think of a bane as being more dire sounding than a bugaboo, but I understand the similarity. Oh, here we go. Apt word spelled by the new letters that alter this puzzle's 7 works. Is it forgery? Oh, right. There must be one more. Oh, right. There's one more of these I didn't even see yet. Okay, well, so this must have an O in it, and then we have an R, G, E, R, Y. Yes, so the letters that transform the painting into the other half of the clue, those spell out forgery appropriately. Very nice. So the apt word spelled by the new letters that alter this puzzle's 7 works. Altering those puzzles. I don't know that altering something is a forgery exactly, but I think it's close enough to be a nice, clever theme. Embarrassing fail in modern lingo is a big oof. There we go. And to participate in a marathon, say, is to, I don't know, to run, to what? Never really thought about it. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. You could say that in a sort of absent-minded way that mimics the tone of this clue with the and the ellipses at the end. Okay, what was this again? Participate in a marathon. I don't know. I don't see that for some reason. Some vow takers. Nuns, maybe? They take religious vows. And I don't know. I thought this maybe could be bikes, though. I don't know. No small favor. Could you do me a huge one, a huge favor? It's not a small favor. And pooch in slang, a doggo. Sounds very Australian to me, but it's become sort of an internet term in general. Participate in a marathon, maybe. Oh, to binge, I see, a sort of television marathon, that sort of thing. And it'll cost you a user fee, perhaps? What was this again? Oh, right, post-dinosaur period, or an iconic Magritte. The son of... What do I not remember what this is? I don't know. Or the eon of for the post-dinosaur period. Oh, the son of man. And that would make the eon of man for the post-dinosaur period. Very good. Okay. There we go. That's it. This is a very clever crossword. Baby's first word commonly. Oh, this isn't a huge one. It's a huge ask. I have a huge ask for you, a huge favor to ask. Baby's first word could be mama. Hoppy offerings in brief could be IPAs, India Pale Ale beers. Good practice for a half marathon is, I don't know. To put out is to emit something. Hang loose is to drape. 10K, I see. You could run a 10K as sort of training for a half marathon. All right. Scored as free throws in basketball, you sank them. How could you playfully? I'm not sure. Essential qualities. Probably ends with an S. Records of the past. Finals, maybe? Final records? Anago or unagi, those are eel. That's eel in Japanese cuisine. And a big ball is a gala or something, or maybe a big sphere, or I don't know. Gravy, you might say. NFL sportscaster Andrews. Don't know. Right. Did I read this one yet? I don't think I did. Flying invention by a classic automaker or an iconic clay. And I guess this one also doesn't start with the, so I thought they all would. But I guess not, because the last one, oh no, this one didn't either. Never mind. Okay, so they don't all necessarily start with the. Group with cryptanalysts. Oh, maybe this isn't vinyl. Because I was thinking maybe it would be NSA or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, but Inago or Unagi, those are eel. So I think that part's right. Maximal ending. Maximalist, as in minimalist, maximalist. How could you playfully, et tu, as in et tu brute, as sort of ascribed to Julius Caesar by Shakespeare. And gravy, you might say. So gravy is extra. That is what I wanted it to be. So what are records of the past? They're annals. Right. Okay, I was thinking vinyls is sort of slightly inaccurate. It would be vinyl records, but or just vinyl kind of collectively. And yes, it was not that. So it was extra gravy. You could say anything else is gravy. Anything else is just an extra bonus. New York City Avenue east of Park. That's Lexington Avenue. So Lex. And Aaron Andrews. I think this person has actually come up in the crossword before. I hope this is right. Big ball. I'm not sure offhand. Oh, so the group with cryptanalysts is the NSA. Okay, good. I was right to be skeptical about what was going on over here. And a real doozy is something ends with an R. Essential qualities, yes, your nature. So an essential quality could be one's nature, or then pluralized in this case. A soiree is a big ball. Okay, there we go. And what is going on here? So what is the iconic clay that we're referring to here? Flying invention by a classic automaker. Oh, the red balloon? Does that work? I think that's the clay. Does that work for the classic automaker? Red balloon. How would that be? Oh, red becomes REO? As in the REO Speedwagon, which is sort of better known as the band name, but was named after a model of car. And I don't know any other REO models, like probably most people these days. So, sorry, so it's the D, it would be DO? No, other way around. Flying invention would be the REO, and then the iconic clay would be red. Okay. There we go. I think we've got it. So pitted against one another would be set at odds. Yes, okay. He set them at odds. He set them against one another. West Coast football powerhouse in brief could be USC, maybe. Probably, I suspect the University of Southern California. And here we have eau de vie, water of life in French. And zoos, so to speak, are I don't know. I want this to be scenes. Maximalist. I'm not sure. I'm missing something about this. Booze it up old style. To tope, to have a drink. Tope, that is a sort of quaint, older way of saying to have an alcoholic drink. Mob scenes. Oh, right. This is maximalist with an E-S. Oh, no, it's not. I see. It's not the word maximalist. It means an ending that itself means maximal. So the most of something. The somethingest version of the biggest. There we go. That's it. The superlative ending to an adjective. Some fairy tale characters could be damsels, sometimes in distress. And where fur coats get cleaned, a day spa? No, a dog spa. That came up in a recent puzzle as well, I think. Loosen as a spool is to unreel something that's been wound up. Port of Mexico, I'm still not sure about that. It is better to be blank than to be pitied. Herodotus. I know I've read this quote before, but I can't think what it is. That's annoying. Big hit could be nefarious, could be evil, and a real doozy could be a rip snorter, a sort of incredibly funny joke. Number for a resume. So a resume, a CV. What would that? Oh, your telephone number, I suppose. Is that it? No, something's. This isn't a dog spa. It's a pet spa. Dog spa was the one that came up recently, so that was in my head. Puerto would be Port of Mexico, right? Because it's just generally a port in Spanish, Puerto. Okay, there we go. It's not a specific port, which is what I was thinking it was going to be. So fur coats get cleaned at a pet spa, and then it is better to be envied than to be pitied. Herodotus, okay. A big hit is a triple in baseball, that is, and then this is telephone number, and a work of praise. Of course, we're going to end on the official poetic form of the New York Times crossword, the ode, and there we go. That was, I think, a very clever puzzle for Sunday, April 2nd, and I completely forgot to read the name of the puzzle, which actually might have given me an early clue, I just realized now, having not looked at it until this moment. Artistic Differences by Jeremy Newton and Tracy Gray. I suppose because I had forgotten to look into the history of these constructors, I just wasn't paying attention to that area of the page. In any case, we have this very clever sort of arguably forgery-themed edition of the puzzle where we have, I suppose, the way in which you could maybe associate it with forgery is you say these are almost identical to the names of the famous paintings, but they're just a little bit off. Something's a little bit off about them, and it produces a different result. So here we have the Starry Fight, forged, I guess, from the Starry Night, and that was our Van Gogh. We have the REO balloon, forged from the Red Balloon by Clay. We have the Rona Lisa, forged from the Mona Lisa by Leonardo. We have the Girth of Venus, forged from the Birth of Venus by Botticelli. The Eon of Man, forged from the Son of Man by Magritte. Right Hawks, forged from Nighthawks by Hopper. And finally, the Creation of a Day, forged from the Creation of Adam by Michelangelo. These are very clever. These are very well done. They're obviously a little bit silly. I mean, no one would describe planning a 24-hour itinerary as the creation of a day. But given the constraints rather, that the constructors are working from, I think these are very clever. And it's always nice to have this kind of fun, punny sort of construction running throughout the grid. Very nice. And they were sort of they weren't so tortured and ridiculous that they weren't possible to get to. I guess in most cases, I ended up getting there via the painting since that was an existing kind of established phrase. But I think you could attack these in either direction, and it wouldn't be unreasonable, particularly. So that's very nicely constructed. Well done to Jeremy Newton and Tracy Gray. Really enjoyed that one. And I did plan to do the clues from yesterday's puzzle today, but I'm so behind schedule at this point due to strange technical difficulties I was having that I'm going to have to skip it. I'm sorry about that. I will get back to it this week, though, again, as I have been doing. So thank you so much for joining me for this delayed Sunday edition of the Daily Solve. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll return with the Monday puzzle tomorrow, a much smaller grid, much simpler puzzle with a theme. Join me for that. Until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.